how to work it.
Okay, yeah. I'll put the link in the comments.
I updated it though. I thought I copied and pasted the link after, but not have.
Oh, you kind of did. If you click on the Facebook post, the link is in the Facebook post.
Yeah.
Let me do it
Yeah.
this way.
Okay.
So right now, we're starting the live stream right now.
Yeah. There, I put it in the comment section there, Rodney.
Got it. Perfect.
This basically is killing me, man. This is gonna be a long ass 2.5 minutes. Especially if you're smacking my lipstick. I got some. I think I got some good questions. Rodney, you good?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Daniel, you good?
Yep.
Jeff, you good? I think we're gonna have a good time. I really do. At least I'm gonna have a good time. I don't know about you.
Always a good time.
I didn't know you were so close to my knee, Rodney.
Yeah, I just been, we've been at it for so long. They feel like, it's like, should we be dead already? What are you doing so long?
You eat a lot of rice.
Oh, dude, too much.
That's what I said. That's why you're young, man. It's all right.
And then, us, the Asian blood, Asian families, they got the way, I tell the guys, I said, the way our parents put us on diet, they just give us one chopstick.
All right.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty.
All right. 50 seconds. You gotta use the bathroom. Do it now.
Is that where you're going?
No.
Don't take the headset in there because I don't want to hear the toilet flush. Wow.
It'll grow.
it going, guys? Thank you very much for joining us in the rack. Talking Runs, Making
What's
Runs.
happening?
I got Daniel Wingates. I got Jeff Ost.
Hey.
How's it going? So before we even get started, I just wanted to cover some local stuff that's going on here in Tacoma, Seattle area. Today, I actually got a chance to sit in a restaurant, Mama Pha's, and had a nice bowl of pho with some bubble tea. So that's really exciting. Daniel, what do you got?
Man, we have got bars that are opening up pool tables, and people are excited. They're posting pictures of themselves actually playing on a pool table that is not in somebody's house, which is not, I mean, that's as rare as Bigfoot these days. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see.
Jeff, what do you got?
Well, I got my COVID vaccine today.
Oh, look at that. That's
First
awesome.
shot. They're only available right now to healthcare workers and
So why did you
senior
get it?
citizens, but I'm a patient over at the tribal clinic, and they're giving out vaccines to all of their patients.
Did you say tribal clinic?
Yes.
You look
No.
You look ginger to me, like the farthest thing from being a Native American. What do you mean?
He's a native
tribal?
albino. Leave him alone.
I'm an 8th native, but I'm like over half Swedish, so those genes just
Yeah, you are.
take
That's why.
over.
That's why you look like Thor. So that's awesome. That's deal. Do you get any of that Indian money that you can pass around to the channel?
No, I don't have enough for that.
What do you have to be actually?
I'm not sure. I know that I have an 8th, and I have just enough to go to the health clinic they have.
Oh, so you probably need a 16th, 1/16th, or am I going down?
You're going the wrong
I
way.
think it's an 8.
See, I'm not the Asian that does math. I'm the Asian that plays pool and sings karaoke. That's the Asian that I am. So that's what it is. All right, let me put on my Clark Kent glasses. Do you guys know what special event that we have going on today?
Do we know?
Yeah, that
I
you
have no
know.
idea. It's a mystery guess,
Oh,
right?
jeez. All right.
It's a mystery,
so
guys.
with the-
It's not on the banner or anything. I
No,
don't-
it's not on the banner. No, not at all. I'm super excited. In this particular show, we have a very special guest, Rodney Morris. So we're gonna play a little highlight reel for you guys to check out.
Hey, before we do that, though, you guys make sure you share the link to this video.
Absolutely, that is
Share
correct.
it. Put it on your Facebook page. Put it on your whatever, your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever you can. Let's get this video out there, and let's get a good audience in here. Because we are going to take some questions from the chat. So if you have questions for Rodney, we want to hear those, and we want people to be able to enjoy this because he's going to spit some knowledge for you guys today. So share it.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Here we go. Those of you who are tracking, this is about a minute long.
Final shot to win the tournament. World Pool League. Look at this shot.
That is, yeah.
Look at that shot for them to win the tournament. Tell me I don't get out of line.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, Rodney Morris, the Rocket. Rodney, thank you very much for coming on. I am super excited that you are here. I appreciate you joining us. So right now, I know that you've been on some podcasts before. So the thing with my channel, we're very unorthodox and it's anything goes. So I'm gonna leave the floor up to you. Go ahead and introduce yourself because we all know that you have a laundry list of accomplishments and titles. So we just want to get to know Rodney the person. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm from Hawaii, and in 1986, I walked into the Hawaiian Brian's Billiards, and that's when I fell in love with this beautiful game of pool. And I just grew up playing nine ball, so that was, I just lived in the pool room all the time. It was 24 hours, and I bet I spent 18 of it every day in there playing pool. So yeah. Sometimes you have to eat and sleep, apparently, but yeah, because otherwise I would have stayed 24 hours a day.
That's super awesome. So is Hawaiian Brian still open?
It is, but the guys, obviously, the guy, original owners are Glenn Anderson, who's still there. He owns it, but he never, was big, into pool. So Richard Akimoto, Aki, and Hawaiian Brian were the pool guys, and Aki's now in 2002, I think it was 2000. Yeah, maybe he bought out or got out, and he owns a very successful bowling alley now over there on the leeward side, westward side of Oahu. And Glenn's, kept the place, but he changed it into very little pool tables, and he focuses on what do you call that, concerts and stuff like that now. So it's totally changed. But yeah, back then we had 39 pool tables, and all 24 hours and till, for about 4 years there, from like 90 to 94 or whatever, we had, I guarantee you, no joke, waiting list till 5 a.m. every day.
Wow.
With 39 tables, 24 hours a day. It was,
That's
sick.
super
That was
exciting.
and no alcohol. So it was
What?
just kids can come in. It was, the most craziest. Yeah, just everybody played pool.
What islander you know that doesn't have alcohol? I'm just saying.
Yeah, we just no alcohol. It was just all
That's
pool.
awesome.
Yeah, people would just play.
Those of you that are just joining us, some of the sites and some of the things that Rodney is a part of. If you check out the description, they're all listed right there. Check them out. Be supportive. Before we get this started, I just want you to make sure that you go to the description, and there is a lot of good content, a lot of good sites that you need to check out. So we're going to go ahead and start and ask you a couple questions, and we're going to start with Jeff since he's at the top there. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, first question is, when you got a big event coming up or a big matchup, what do you do to prepare for said event?
Well, we always, growing up, I grew up in the playing people for money, and I didn't grow up on bar tables. It was all 9-foot tables. And there weren't a lot of tournaments. I would go to a tournament and lose on purpose because I would wait for the action, on the side. So I was like, I don't want to waste my time. I can only win 2,000 or 5,000 in this tournament. I can beat this guy out of, a bunch of guys out of 10 or 20,000, right? So we're all just sitting around using tournaments as an excuse to get together and, battle it out. But, as later on, when I, ran out of all my good action games, back in like 95, 96 was my first year on tour. And the reason why was because I couldn't get any more games. I would go, 3, 4, 5 months and I couldn't get a game. Like everybody's like, I played too good or whatever. So I started playing tournaments, and tournaments is a different beast. You only got one match and, or 2 matches, double elimination. And, you play bad those 2 matches, you're done, right? So one of the big things you always want to do is you want to figure out the rules, figure out how they're going to play, how they're racking, what equipment they're using, what ball, what cue balls. You find out all those things they're using. I should take it to a different level and try to figure out if it's going to be a dry environment or a sticky environment, because I would practice on that same kind of equipment so I can emulate, because you don't want to be practicing on a sticky moist table that's boinging all over the place, and then you go to somewhere like Vegas or Arizona and it's super dry and the ball's not bouncing or spinning, and you're like, so everybody over there is robbing you because they're used to the equipment and you're not. So that's a big one. And then that saying, chance favors a prepared mind, right? So if you go in preparing for all that, you feel more comfortable and more relaxed because you're like, this is what I've been doing this exact same thing for the last week or two, so I'm ready. So mostly that's the training that we do, or the preparation, right? Is getting, trying to emulate that same, environment that you're going to be in for that tournament.
That's awesome. So,
That is
so
correct.
the first match that you played for money, do you remember that?
Yeah, I always tell the stories. In Hawaii we play on the 5 and 9. So similar to like how people play ring games, like if you make the 5 on the break, you just spot it up and you owe it, And then
Yeah.
we used to play for a dollar. I was just kid when I started, so I had $15 or $20 or whatever. So we used to play dollar or two. So and it was the funniest thing because I remember it like it was yesterday. I could play. I was like I was just a D player. I just started, right, a few months, and I started playing dollar on the 5, dollar on the 9, and I started. That's my comfort zone, right? So I used to play, I'm like running out. These guys can't beat me, like another D player or whatever, right? And they all knew that. Then finally, one of my friends like, okay, bet two. I'm up like $20 on him. He's like, okay, bet two, play 2-2, and I play 2-2, and I can't make a ball. He wins all my money every time. So I used to be like, dude, this happened like about 5-6 times, and then I was like, I just can't play for two. I can play for one. So every time the guys come in, I said, okay, I'll play you, but I'm not raising the bet. I tell the guys, I'm never raising the bet. So it's funny because then I flash back a couple of years later, now I'm 18 years old and I'm playing for 50,000 and I'm never missing a ball, So it's like, it was definitely a progression, and it's something that you change, your mind has to condition, to do that, right?
I'm sorry, did
So
you say 15 or 50?
50, I was playing $50,000 sets when I was 18 years old.
At 18, how did you work up that bankroll? That's my question to you. Is like when you started your bankroll, how did you grow it, and what was the discipline in doing that?
Well, we just back then. So if anybody's familiar with Hawaii back in the late 80s, that's when, like the mid 80s, that's when the Japanese economy was booming. So
Mm.
so they were coming into Hawaii and buying up all the property and paying 3 times the amount of the money that it's worth, So, and they had a lot of all that money. So we had so many people coming in, like that. Just every table, there was like ring games, 2020, 4 or 5 man ring games going on all the tables. Like it was just, yeah, we used to play Keno. I don't know if you guys ever seen the boards with the holes in it.
Yep.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I was a big one. We bought about 4 of those and we played that, and we're playing 20, 40, 60, like 8-man Keno games, like it was just, the money just was everywhere. Just, and everybody's kind of, just had a lot of loose income, there's a lot of sports betting going on, and just everybody we just gambled, we went to all the, because Hawaii, there's no legalized gambling, but you can go to somebody's house and they'll throw together a crap, you see a crap table pop up, and then like blackjack. He's like,
crazy.
hey, who's gonna deal blackjack tonight? Who's gonna deal pai gow tonight or whatever? Yeah, we just gambled. That's all we did.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So cool. That's awesome.
Daniel, your question?
Yeah. So I've got obviously being a pool player, I'm a huge fan of the game, and my favorite event every single year is always the Moscone Cup. And you played in lots of Moscone Cups, but in 2006, you were untouchable. You were a freaking monster, and you won the MVP that year.
2004, actually.
Or 2004. Was it 2004? Yeah, you're
2000,
you would know better than I
You're
would.
questioning the man who actually
You
did
would know better
it.
than I would. Yeah, it was 2004.
Yeah.
How does that experience, winning that MVP and that particular Moscone Cup, compare to all the other big tournaments that you've won?
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I got a good story on that one. So, 2003 was my rookie year. That's the first year that I played in it, right? And I was so excited and nervous. He was at the MGM Grand in Vegas, and I think that might have been the first time they went to Vegas. I'm not sure, but I I didn't know how I was gonna, react, or, I just knew I was playing, good, and because every year that I got on it, it wasn't um, it wasn't like just, how they do it now. We just pick guys, that you think is the best. No, there was ranking events, and you
Yeah.
played all year, and you got on, you earn your way. So the guys that are playing in the top five that time, that's the top five guys for the whole year, the actual top five guys, right? So, because they earned it. So when I got on, I was in good form, and I didn't know how I was going to react. Everybody's just telling me, Corey Deuel, Johnny's like, Earl, he's like, oh, this most pressure event you ever, gonna be in. And I'm like, stop talking, making me nervous. Yeah, I didn't even play yet. And I said, I might lag the ball off the table. I said, is, so we get up there, and finally I get on there, and my arm worked, and first ball went in, second ball went in, and then I win the match, and I was like, dude, my arm was shaking so much. I don't know how this happened, and then I think Charlie Williams uh, was like, dude, there ain't nothing was shaking. You look so relaxed, like you were practicing out there. I was like, really? I said, oh, I better do the same thing then. But it was so. I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm trying to keep my head down, because I'm like, I'm seeing all this whole crowd. I'm like, wow, this is how pool should be, right? I was so excited, and I ended up. I won the most points on our team, but Mika Immonen had more points, but he was on the losing team. But they gave him the MVP. And I talked to Luke Riches, who did all the media for them back then, and he was like, yeah. After that year, he said, we changed it, that only the most points on the winning team guy can get the MVP. So I always tell people, Mika, you're holding my MVP, because you guys lost that year. So I supposed to get back to back in 2003 and 4. But no, fast forward to 2004, we're playing in, and I'm already pumped. We won, and I played good or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I love it. I love that atmosphere. I live for this Mosconi Cup. I want it. So the second year, we're in Egmond aan Zee, which is, it's in the winter. It's in Holland, and it's a beach town, but it's so freezing, like you can't even walk on the beach. It's so ice cold, blowing, and all that, right? So, but I remember that's the first time those fans came in, and they wanted to really give us the business, right? One guy had they had this horn, and it's like a big horn, and every time, like, between the matches, he would blow like that, and I remember Earl lost the match, or somebody lost the match, and they came in, and they were like, I can't stand that guy. That guy shouldn't be allowed to blow that thing up there, and this and that. And then, I get out there, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to let these guys do this to me, right? And I said, I don't want to let them, get me. So how do I, combat this thing, right? So, I'm building, practicing, working on some shots in the back room. Then finally, okay, I got it. I get out there. I shoot the first. No, I won the first game. I win the first game, and then I let out this biggest yell of like, "Ah!" Like that. And I looked at the guy in the audience, and I went like that. I went like that. I just, it was so funny, but that relaxed me. That got me relaxed, and then I ended up playing, and I won all my first 3 years. I won all my matches, and but that year, that 2004 was like, I mean, Mika was playing good, and we matched up against him, and I ended up beating him in the match, and it was a huge, huge match. And I remember I made a shot off the back rail. If you watch it, type in Mosconi Cup 2004, me and Mika, and if you get to watch the shot, he plays a safe where he leaves the cue ball frozen on the back rail, and then he leaves the other ball like on the side rail somewhere, and I gotta, it's like almost impossible to come back around. Well, I was practicing that shot off the back rail the whole about 20 minutes before we got to that match, and the shot came up. It's one of those deals, like, dude, like, what are the
Wow.
odds? I just wanted to work on my shot off the rail. And then I remember Charlie Williams was telling me, he said, Thorsten said he shoots it like this, because Thorsten was playing so great back then, right? Still plays great, but then he was the number one guy, I think. And he said, Thorsten said he shoots down on the cue ball when he shoots off the rail. He doesn't shoot level, on the rail. He shoots down, so you get more. You shoot like almost like you're shooting into the rail. And so I started practicing. Wow, I get more power this way off the rail, and it's more accurate. You just got to hit the center of the cue ball, and it kind of, you shoot right through the rail, and it pushes the ball, whatever. So it came up, and I was just practicing it for like 20 minutes. And then next thing you know, Mika plays a safe and he leaves me the shot that I've been practicing for 20 minutes in the back room. And I pumped it in. I shot it off the back row. You see it loops around the 9 ball, which was by the spot, goes back down 2 rails, comes all the way back down for the ball that he was hooking me by, the 7 or whatever. And I end up getting out. And I remember after I won that match, and I won it with that shot, right? And I go back in the room. As soon as I open the door to the practice room, Earl Strickland comes out, and he has his finger like this, and he's like, "Only a God-fearing man could make that shot." That was so good. Oh my God. I was like, he was so pumped up for me. I was like, dude, what a shot. I said, I said, I can't believe I pumped that ball in like that. Yeah, that was, and then I won the MVP, obviously. But yeah, I was like, dude, that was a shot of the event. But yeah, Mosconi Cup is that's a big pressure. And, and like this past year, without the fans, I think it kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. I know the guy's got to make some money, and you want to keep it going, but without the fans, the fans truly make that event.
Yeah, it was way different this year watching it then, because that's my favorite. I love the Mosconi Cup, but I can't wait till it goes back to Vegas and we're going to it next time. But it's without the fans, it was a really, really weird watch this year. Then Corey Jewell stepping in at the end there, just out of nowhere. He was prepared. And it was just a weird year. I agree with you on that one, but that's a great story.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys know, like you two maybe already know the answer to this, but why is the Mosconi Cup only between Europe and the United States? How did that all get started? I personally don't know. And I was just wondering that as you guys were talking it. How come the Filipinos don't come in, or the Japanese or the Chinese and whatnot?
So the Mosconi Cup is modeled. Matchroom Sport is a UK company, right? So they modeled it after the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup of golf is USA versus Europe. So that's how they modeled it. So that's why it's. They also have a President's Cup for golf, which is USA versus the world.
Oh, wow.
So they have that. So somebody could do something like that and create, an event like that. But yeah, the Mosconi Cup was modeled after the Ryder Cup of golf. So it's USA versus Europe.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. Did you?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for answering that. Jeff, I think you got the next question.
Who do you consider to be your greatest rival? Like, which guy out there just brings out your best game every time?
Ooh.
Big question.
That's a good question.
There was, as far as, like when, me personally, when I play, I'm not playing against the person, you're always playing against yourself, you're always fighting your own demons and, trying to figure out the break, trying to make sure you play smart and all that. But, I've played so long, going on 4 decades now, that there's always been guys that have, there's always been guys that have come along that were playing great at that time. You get a 5-year, spot where somebody can, when I first started, right before I came on tour, like 1990, remember Nick Varner won like 12 major tournaments in a row, or whatever it was. It's like, dude, how can he, Nick was so sick, but then you get Earl, back then, and Efren, and Johnny, and then you got Bustamante back then, and then Rafael Martinez, and oh, dude, there were so many guys that could shoot you full of holes at any time, Then you get another generation after that, in the 2000s, you got all Mikas and Darren Appletons, and how about the Ralph Souquets and all those? You can't. There's no possible way I can make a list of 50 guys, and any one of them, when they were playing, their game would shoot you full of holes, So it's hard. You just got to figure out at that moment, how to come with it and figure out a way to win. Tournaments is tough. I always, my record, obviously gambling was, way better. I've made massive amount of comebacks, playing 15 ahead sets, where you play over 17, 18 hours, but that more is about your heart showing up, and taking over, right? Then a lot of times it's like, you're playing, your skill might not be as good as the guy, 10 hours, 12 hours, but then something happens when the guy realizes that you're not going anywhere. You're still there. He's like, dude, I've been playing great for 10, 12 hours. This guy's still here. I can't take him out. And then it weighs on his mind. And then you get stronger because you know that guy's getting weaker, right? So that's a whole different mentality when you're doing that. But the tournaments, it's like you got to play. You're gonna play more cautious. You know, you're not gonna take chances. You know, you might take a chance if you're up 7-0 in a race to 11, but you're not gonna do that. You know, when it's 7-7 and you know you got a dead nut safe or you can do a bank. You're like, oh, I'm locking this guy up. I want something easier. You know what I mean? So it's there's so many guys that play great. I mean, I've seen, you know, obviously I never got a chance to watch myself, you know, play live, but when I watch some guys like in real time, you know, like some of the great guys play, and I see what they do in certain situations, I'm like, Mika has got to be, to me, the greatest shot maker I've ever seen, you know. And second would be Earl, but I saw Mika do some stuff on different continents, you know, that's like, dude, the shot making that he made was like incredible. I seen him beat Bustamante and Efren in the semifinals and finals of a tournament. I think it was in 2003, and I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, I said, dude, I don't think anybody could have done what he did those two matches right there. Just like, yeah, that's when I was like, and then, you know, then when I play him, I shoot him full of holes. So I like that too. But no,
That's
my
great.
brother,
So,
he's you know, so everybody, I mean, there's so many, you can't pick one guy. You just know, you know, like lately, you know, for me, Dennis Orcolo, you know, there was a while he robbed me you know, he beat me 8, 9 times in a row. And then I made the greatest comeback in 2013 in the finals against him in the 10 ball in Vegas, and I beat him. And then that erased that 9 times that he robbed me, right? So it's like,
Nice.
I won that time.
take that, you little Filipino.
Yeah, but he's a great. I mean, the guy's so great. There's so many guys that just play like Shane with his break, and now, you know, the other young European kids. You know, like, dude, these guys play so good. I'm thinking. Then I look back, some of my
Joshua
friends.
Filler.
Yeah, like some of my friends said, dude, you did all that stuff too. I was like, well, I don't know, man. These guys never miss. He said, well, you never miss too. Like, I don't remember that far back.
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
yeah, I give them credit. I give these guys credit, man. The guys, you know, now, you know, the game has gone down, 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 and they still, you know, they're still loving it and they're still doing it. So, you know, that would bring us into the next questions probably about what I'm doing for the future of the game.
That's coming up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that is
Perfect.
coming up. But I do have a question for you though. And it's I'm gonna alter the question a little bit. One, are you mentoring somebody to follow in your footsteps? And two, if you had to map out the glide path to becoming a pro, what would you say would be the mark points? What they have to do to get there to a pro status?
Yeah, right now I'm not doing, you know, like there's nobody that's really, you know, wants me to like, you know, to you know, mentor them and, you know, train them, but there's a bunch of people that, you know, I help out. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that I help out and you know, I spend some time on, you know, it's more right now I'm focusing on, you know, putting together events, and I created some games and some stuff that's about ready to break and for the future of the game. But there's a lot of good young talent out there that and the guys that I've, you know, I've been watching, you know, they have good you know, their fathers, their parents are good. You know, they're coaching them and teaching them the right way, like bringing them up the right way, keeping them out of the bad elements, and you know, trying to, you know, help them learn from, you know, the best. They'll give lessons, you know, for them, you know, with the top guys, and you know, kind of, you know, waiting. They're waiting. They're like, but you know, for us, it's you know, this 2020 was brutal because one of the things that I would tell the youngsters is, you know, get on the road, get out there and experience matches with different people and play, you know, play some little money games, and you know, just so that you can see a different, you know, different vibes and different personalities and different kind of situations, you know. That so because the more different situations you put yourself in under pressure, the better off you're gonna be. That's called seasoning, right? You know, you're gonna get in that, you know, you're gonna be sometimes where, you know, I've been in spots when I was young where the guys, you know, oh, it's a hot shot kid. It's, you know, the guy, everybody's patting you on the back and, you know, telling you how great you are and oh, you're going to win this easily. And then you go 2 and out, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
because because
Yeah,
you
Jeff
you're drinking
knows
the
that.
Kool-Aid. You drink the Kool-Aid of how good you are, right? So
Yep.
you also gotta understand and be humble and know that, even though there's a lot of people are telling you, you're so great and this and that, that they're pulling for you to lose. They're pulling for you to fail. So
Hmm.
you gotta understand that not everybody is your best interest that out there. You're just meeting people, so you gotta stay focused and do the right thing all the time.
Right on, Jeff. Or no,
Oh,
Daniel.
Daniel,
Sorry, sorry.
That's all right. I was like, oh, okay. Good for me.
Well, you white people look all the same to me. What the hell?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I knew it. Eventually we are going to get around to that,
You won eighth Indian people, the Native American people.
right?
All right, Daniel, go ahead.
All right. So my next question for you, Rodney. I know you've been off the pro circuit now for a little while. Do you ever miss that? Do you ever miss that grind? And is there any chance that in the next couple of years we'll see you playing a pro tournament again?
Yeah, I'm actually creating. I'm creating an amazing event, and I'm gonna be a player in it. So it's gonna be 16 players. We're thinking, and it's gonna be actual tour and with playoffs and regular season and all that jazz. But so that's one of the things I got in the works, and I'm playing great. I'm hitting the balls really good. So, and I'm getting ready to play some money matches. I can't commit to certain tournaments, but I've been playing all these little mini tournaments out here and stuff like that. But I don't. There's, it's very difficult to spend 1,500 or 2,000 to go to a 5,000 added event, right? It's a hard. It's a when as you get older, you start trying to figure out where you can spend less and win more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those if I'm going to a tournament, I got to beat 16 world champions to win 8,000. It's like, dude, it's like every match is the fight. I'd rather go where those 16 guys aren't. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. No, that makes sense. That's actually good. That's a good philosophy.
I just look at the tournaments and say, okay, what is the money? Oh, no money. Who's there? Oh, all of those guys are there. Okay, I'm gonna go one block away. I'll go. I'll go right next door where they're not at. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Jeff,
But yeah,
go ahead.
I miss the competition, and I want to, obviously I want to play the best. But we spent a lot of time. I created my own games. We got the trademarks and the patents all done. So we're getting ready, moving into the next phase, and everybody's going to be, we created this, for the future of the game. And I think the games that we've been playing, for the last 50 years or so, and are, they're outdated. We haven't evolved.
Yep.
So we're changing. One of the biggest things I'm looking on a lot of threads now, the guys are saying, I don't want to go over there when this guy's, it's rack for each other and this guy's going to give me a bad rack. Or I don't want to go over there and this guy's, it's a magic rack, or they got all kinds of things where, because we know these games that we have, the break is so important
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that basically whoever has the best break is winning all the time. Right. So, so the games that we created, the break is not the, you can break great, but that's not going to be the deciding during the match, so
That's
it's going to
awesome.
be a real actual scoring, just like golf. You're going to shoot your number and you're going to be, you're going to know exactly where you stand. I'm going to know exactly my number, just like my handicap in golf or bowling or whatever. You know what it is. So it's going to be neat.
That's awesome.
All right, so one of the
Louder.
subjects that we've been covering the last couple of weeks on the show has been like fitness and athleticism. How serious and important do you consider that to be for pool players?
It's huge. It's really huge. It's more the mental toughness, and conditioning. It's still the physical part. Like I just was talking with my wife the other day. I'm like, it's getting so like I gotta lose weight because I'm gonna start playing pool. I'm gonna be bending over a lot more. And the legs get more tired. So that part, when that physical fatigue comes, that's when you make all the mental mistakes, right? And because you're thinking about, you're not real sharp or have that energy, and then your mind kind of or maybe it could be something so simple as normally you're going to walk around the table and check the angle on the other side, but you're tired. So you're just gonna assume that this is good, right? So you don't want to walk around the table. You just stay on that side of the table,
Yeah.
or you don't want to walk. I've done it many times. I get tired. I'm like, okay, I know I got to go 2 rails and put this cue ball over there, but if I go 3 rails, I get the cue ball back over here where I'm at, and I don't have to move. so so that- I do, I do that too. So I know that that physical, when you get tired, it's going to play on your mind, when you're making decisions on there, right?
Right on. Um, so in your whole playing career, I know, even though that I've been only been playing for X amount of years, I always have that one shot that I remember that haunts me every time I think about it. Is there a particular shot for you playing against a particular opponent that you fudged on, or it didn't go the way that you wanted it to, and it actually costed you the match, the game, the money, whatever what was in stake at that time?
I remember one that stuck with me at the time because I was, every year I always went, to the U.S. Open 9 ball championships in Virginia, and I always wanted to win it. And every year I was getting better and better. Like I got 32nd, then I got 17th, 13th, and 8th, and like that. And I remember specifically, and it wasn't so much of a like one shot that I dogged or something. It was a decision that I made, and I was up 6-0 against Buddy Hall, and it was in the final 8 on the winner's side. And I'm up 6-0, and I had a chance to stick him right on the ball in the middle of the table, or I had a chance to back cut a ball, like a tough shot. And because I'm up 6-0, like in my mind, I won the match. And so I remember shooting, and my buddy was there, and I think it was 95 or whatever, and I was playing so good. I was like, I'm gonna win this thing, and I'm robbing Buddy Hall, and I ended up missing the ball, and he ends up beating me 11-7 from there. And like I only got like one shot from there, like it was a tough shot or a kick. And then my buddy that I was with, my partner, he said, now you understand, son. I go, I'm mad, right? I go, what? He said, you never let up on these guys. You
Mm,
never let up. He said, remember that shot when you're up 6-0 and then you went for that goofy shot? I was like, yeah. I said, so that's the part, so that was a big lesson. And that for me, that was the one that kind of changed, because the very next year I came back and I won the US Open.
wow.
So that was, and I never made that mistake. That whole year I was like focused, I was playing solid all the time. So that was a big, big one. And it stuck with me that time. So that was, that was the one. And it was just a lesson more than anything, like how to not, like, I don't know how you say, like, disrespect the game.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And disrespect your opponent, that was a big, yeah.
Yeah. Daniel?
That's cool. Yeah, so I'm excited for this question because, I know the people in our chat are asking about some of these other games that you have put together in the future of pool and where we're going. So, I know over the last couple of years you kind of shifted your focus into being more of an ambassador for the game of pool. And you've taken on you introduced the Rocket Runout, which I think is incredibly fun. It's probably one of my most favorite games to play right now that
Oh,
nobody
that's
knows
cool.
about. And then you've taken on a larger role at the helm of TSBN. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about the Rocket Runout and other stuff you have going on, and where you see pool 5 to 10 years from now, and how people can get involved and what we can do to help and what we can do to bring it back and make it the best thing ever.
Yeah, so there's a few things that have been going on. One of the things was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Saratoga, Wyoming, the Wyoming Open and stuff that we've been coming out here for the last 13 years. So my buddy, EJ Glode and we came up with the game Saratoga, which is a hybrid of 8 ball and 9 ball. So, it's just 8 ball, but you shoot them in order, and then you still shoot the 8 last, right? So we've been playing that here. Everybody comes here. Everybody loves it. Shane's won it many times. Corey, Johnny, a bunch of guys, Raj, Mika. So this game that we've been playing, right? The reason why we came up with these games and we're changing and like, kind of change, if you can see, like, for us from a standpoint of what I'm coming from, is we're trying to change the culture, right? Because I don't know if you guys know, in 1970, the U.S. Open of pool paid 25,000, and the U.S. Open of golf paid 25,000 for first place.
Wow.
So one of them, yeah, we were right there together. and one of them is here, and the other one is still here, right? So,
Yeah.
so they,
Wow.
and the only difference, right? I know it's amazing when I tell people that, and I could be off by a year or two, in the year exactly, but that's what Barry Berman told me, who was, that was like his first U.S. Open or something, right? He was the one that founded the U.S. Open 9 ball. So the one and only difference in those two games, two sports or whatever, is one is considered a gentleman's game, and the other one is considered a hustler, and we get a bad rap.
That is a bad rap.
One game is the the Joe Biden, and one game is the Donald Trump game, right? So I'll let you pick which is which now. Just kidding. So, but no, it's a big contrast, right? It's a big contrast, and so when we think about these games, right? To give you guys a little background on why we came up with these games and why we're changing it. If you think about any game, 8 ball, 9 ball, 10 ball, bar box, whatever, one pocket, we all have a memory. We all have something that we can think about that game. So in order to change a culture of something, you have to change. You change the game. So you change. You start with a blank slate. So nobody has any background on these games that we have. We're creating these games because we're starting fresh. Somebody had to create one pocket. Somebody had to create 8 ball. Somebody had to create, right? Somebody had to
Right.
create these games. So why can't somebody create something new and better and more efficient, right? Something that we can. Right now, if you go and you watch a golf tournament and Tiger Woods is getting ready to putt, right? Let's say he's getting ready to make this putt. The ticker will show all these, and the commentators will tell you all these stats on what he is from this 7-foot putt, right? His stats, lifetime stats. We don't know about that for pool, right?
Right.
We're shooting a shot. Imagine you're shooting a shot and you're 3 feet off the back rail, jacked up, and you got to spear this ball in with bottom left hand English and come back. We don't know the percentage I am on making that shot. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I shot it.
Right.
Right. Somebody, so that's what we're trying to create one day. So the games that we created are all offense, because I told my friend one day, I said, okay, if me, my wife, and our 4 kids or whatever, we go bowling, right? Well, first of all, if we go play pool, everybody's just going to sit around and watch dad play pool. That's how it's going to end up. And everybody's going to get bored because they're not going to get to shoot, and they're just going to be watching. But you take our same family and we go bowling, and everybody's having a great time. Why? What are the reasons, right? One is everybody's not trying to beat dad.
Yeah.
They're not, dad's not taking up all the time. Everybody gets the same amount of time to bowl, same amount of frames or whatever, right? It's just, and then everybody's shooting their own score. So that's how we're creating this game. We're trying to create it where everybody is their own individual. We're shooting our own score so we can keep stats. Now we're going to have, all this background and all this, this, like I'm a 76 right now in the, on the TSPN app in the Rocket Runout, right? So, perfect 10 racks is 100, right? And so I got a 76 the way we score. So, and that's one of the highest, right? So I'm sure other people, and then when we handicap, if I'm playing somebody who's a 19, now I'm giving them, we're just minusing off of that. And would you believe we've played tournaments like that, and the 19 beat me by 1 point when we played? So the handicapping is like on point. It's like
Right.
perfect because it's your own number, right? It's
Yeah.
your own exact number that you're shooting. And the more you shoot it over time, all through the TSPN app, it's all kept there. You can see all your practice matches, you can see all your regular matches, you can see all that history. So that's what we created. And right now we just ordered 250 sets of these balls, these rocket balls, we're going to call them. And I got the design patent. So I own the design patent for the balls, the stripes numbered 1 through 7 also. So in our set of balls, the stripes don't go 9 to 15. The stripes also go 1 through 7, just like the solids. So
That's awesome.
yeah, because all these different games that we have point values, and we have there's a bunch of stuff going on that I can't really divulge right now, but yeah, it's going to be really cool. It's going to be fun, and more people play. So the fast forward 10, 15, 20 years from now, we'd like to have all these games being played with all these stats and everybody playing these, this way, rather than the same old thing we've been doing for 50 years that haven't translated to the mainstream, right?
Right.
That's awesome.
Any business that, if you think of any game, any sport, any business, you go 50 years and you don't make a profit or go forward, you shut your business down, right? It's like, dude, we're still hanging in there, losing money every year.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So it's
Have
time.
been
It's
for
time.
40 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
time for.
awesome.
And you know how many times I had this conversation starts off like this? You know what pool needs, or you know what they should have done. It's like, dude, I'm tired of that conversation already. I don't want to be that guy that should have or used to. I want to be the one that did it. I want to be the one that say, oh, he put in the work, and he's been working on this for, we've been working on this for 13 years now.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's not like, takes a while, because a lot of people, when you talk, people kind of, it's like, it's another idea. Okay. They don't expect you to do it,
Right.
So
Right.
we're going
That's
to change
awesome.
that. We're going to change. Yeah.
Well, I know I'm excited to see what you're bringing to the table, because if it's anything like the Rocket Run Out, it's going to be incredible.
Oh, dude, it's
I-
going to be fun.
The Rocket Run Out really makes you feel it's such a different game when you play it. The concept of it, you're like, holy cow, this is so simple. And
Mhm.
It's not until you're actually playing it and you realize, okay, it's a little more complicated than I thought, but it's still
We
a very
thought-
simple game.
Yeah,
And
the
it's a
9
lot
ball
of fun.
version. The
Yeah.
9 ball version that we came out with, we thought that, okay, everybody's going to master this and shoot 100 every time, and
Nope.
and that's it. And then I'm like, dude, I mean, it's so super hard. Yeah. So
That's
it's really
super
fun.
hard.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's good. So we're doing that, and then I'm the CEO of TSPN now, and so we're working. We got hit with the COVID pretty bad, just like everybody else. So lost a lot of membership. A lot of people like to talk smack and stuff, and not really, it's like bad news. They wanna cling on to, and rumors or whatever. But when we come up with some good news, they don't want to hear it, right? So it's you got to fight through all that too, right? It's like somebody shows an article with something from 15 years ago, and all of a sudden he's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
yeah.
come on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like, dude, come on, man. We're evolving, we're moving, man. Not everybody is perfect. And not everybody is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, shots fired. Right?
All right, so check it out. That should be it for the questions. Rodney, I understand that you have a DVD collection that has instructional videos. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And if some of us are interested in getting that, how do we get that from you?
Yeah, it's called Rocket Science. But when people say it's not rocket science, you tell them, no, it really is, actually. So it's
Really,
it's a
is.
DVD. Yeah, it's a DVD that my buddy Lenny and I put together at my buddy George's house in Tehechea out in Tucson, Arizona. I was there. I want to say like 2011, I think. Can't remember exactly, but we were just sitting in his house, and he was like, Lenny told me, "So you ever did an instructional DVD?" I said, "No." I said, "Mika's done a few. I know a lot of guys did it." And then she said, "Well, you want to try one?" He said, "I'll write some questions down and we'll do it now. We'll start." He said, "We'll start it, and here, and then and we'll see what we can put together." I said, "Okay, I'm in." And so about 2.5 hours later, he was like, "Okay, we're done." And then I'm like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, tomorrow." He said, "No, that's enough. I think I got enough. That's 2.5 hours is a lot of content." And then I said, "That's it." He's like, "Yeah, he did everything on the first take." So I was like, "Sweet."
That's
So when you
awesome.
guys see it, yeah, when you see it, it's like everything was done exact. The jump shots, the masse, whatever it is, a position shot, the breaks, everything was done one shot the whole time. There was no second take of anything. It's funny, but yeah, you can just message me on Facebook or you guys can maybe tag my email or something and reach out. Yeah, and I do it. It's almost 3 hours of content, and I autograph it and ship it to wherever for $40.
Awesome.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
great value.
Good deal.
You'll
So-
like it too.
Yep. So those of you who just caught that, you can get what'd you call it again? The Rocket Science.
Yeah, it's rocket science. Yeah, and one only thing is, I asked if we ever meet up in a match, nobody can use any of that in the DVD against me.
So you heard it from here. If you
Touche.
learn from that DVD, don't use it on the Rocket. I will put his email in the description. So if you're interested in getting on that, I think that is an awesome deal to get pro tips for only $40 for a lifetime of pool playing, especially if you love the game as much as we do. All right, we're going to go to the open chat. Again, this is going to be your guys' chance for those of you who are out there watching this live stream to get to know a pro and to actually ask him questions.
We actually do have a question up here from Rubster760 that he put in the chat early on. He wants to know, Rodney, how and who gave you your name, The Rocket?
Ooh, good one.
Ooh, so it was one of my good friends. He's like a father to me, Roy Horihata, young Roy, they call him, and he was the best player in Hawaii that time. And I just kind of followed him everywhere he went. But yeah, he was the one that called me the Rocket Man. So yeah, it was. And yeah, any kind of nickname you don't ever want to name yourself. That's just too cheesy. So you always got to have somebody else got to nickname you. So, but yeah, that's about yeah. Yep, young Roy.
Nice. See, I think we got one here from the Beard King.
Jeff was gonna ask that one.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I want Jeff to talk. He's so shy.
Sorry, I'm an introvert.
Come on, Jeff,
Can't help
get
it.
in there.
All right, we got a question from Beard King. He asked, do you have a pre-game ritual you do, such as a specific meal before you play a game, or maybe something like tying your right shoe before your left shoe, or a series of stretches and breathing techniques?
No, I just know I know there's a certain thing that I want to make sure I train myself to do. And my buddy Hunter Lombardo um, uh, told me that. He said he was watching old videos. He said when you're playing your best, this is how you do. You step into the shot, but you throw the cue up. Like I throw the cue up, like just like in the line of the shot, and then my body falls and my head falls down on it. And then remember when he told me that one time, like I was getting ready to play Darren Appleton, I think, in the quarterfinals of a tournament or something, and then I just did that, just that little move there, and I stepped into the shot, and I kept falling down on the shot perfect, and I end up winning, and I beat Dennis Hatch, and then anyway, I'm playing Johnny Archer in the finals, and Johnny had beaten me 4 times in the finals, the last 4 tournaments in a row,
Wow.
and now this is the 5th time, and I'm like, okay, he ain't getting me this time because I'm due, right? So I ended up playing real good from that, and from every time now, I always want to make sure I get, I throw that cue up with my hand, my left hand. I'm left-handed, and I throw the cue up, and then I go down, and I put my head down. My head falls down on the shot, and every time I do that, it's making my eyes fall down correctly, and then that's what gets me. If you notice, I always tell people that I said, when you're practicing, you notice you're playing, and then after about hour and a half, 2 hours, you feel like you're getting in stroke, like you're getting loose or whatever. But you can never ever get that feeling right in the beginning. Well, what's happening is in the very beginning, and I teach this a lot too to people, is in the very beginning, your head's not falling down correctly. But after you play for a while, your head starts falling down. You get more in that groove, right? So it's your eyes that are falling down in the right position. So you're not actually getting in stroke. Your head's just falling down correctly because you keep doing it, right? So if you pay attention to this now from now on, because you know how sometimes when you get down on the ball and it doesn't look right, and you get up and you get back down again, it looks right. So now you understand how important your head falling down on the shot is, because that's what's going to make. I couldn't sometimes when I teach people, sometimes their feet could be pulling their head off. Like just one little thing about your stance makes your head fall down and off, to the right or to the left, and then if you just that's it. It's just little things that we pick up on when we see somebody, and we're like, okay, and then if I can, watch them for a little while, I can straighten them out and fix it for them. So, but yeah, there's a lot more going on than people think in playing pool.
That's cool.
Jeff, you want to ask him what Darren Settles asked?
Sure. Aaron Settles wants to know what brand of stick you break with, and what's the shaft diameter and the kind of tip you use.
Ooh, so right now I just went to my buddy's house in Kansas, and the tip that I use a Striker brake tips. It's you can go on highimpacttips.com and check it out, but it's really good, and but it's my buddy just gave. I didn't like the brake cue actually that I had, so I stole one from him. He's got like about 150 cues down there in his basement, and I was just searching through cases and cases, and I found a Predator BK2, and I just took it out. So that's what I'm using currently. And I was like, hey, what are you doing with this cue here? He said, oh, I don't even know I had it. I said, okay, well, you don't. And I took it. So that's what I'm using, but the actual butt of the cue I'm using right now is EDC, Everyday Carries. My buddy Jules Patterson, that he works with Randy Mobley out of Tampa, and so about in 2019, I think, when I was getting out of the Porsche dealership and back into pool with TSPN, he was like, "Hey, I saw you're getting back into pool." He said, "You got a cue?" I said, "Oh shoot, I'm probably gonna need a cue, huh?" And then he's like, "Here, use if you can use mine."
So
So
just
he gave me that
real
cue.
quick on that note right there, do you get cues from cue makers for free just to try out? Like, do you get?
I used when I was playing all the time. Yeah, and I used to sponsor. I was with Poison Cubes, with the Predator guys and all that, and I got the Breach Cubes and the with the Q-Tech one. So I tried I was using the Q-Tech Synergy shaft on my thing, and it's good, but I lost. I know that I've been using it for a while. I used it for about 3 months, and I noticed I lost my touch, my soft speed shots.
Mhm.
So now I'm back using wood. So my buddy Fats Garcia out of Victorville, California, made me a shaft just now, and I really love it. And it's wood shaft and stuff. But yeah, it's really really the I didn't realize how much um, uh, feel you need for speed control when we play. And those carbon fiber ones, I lose my feel. So like I just try to roll the ball, 1 inch forward, and it goes 4 inches forward because there's so much power in that shaft, right?
So,
So
Interesting.
a question from Little Chris. Will Rodney participate in the next Texas State Open?
ooh, when is that? I don't even know when that is.
That's
It's usually in
make
April, I
questions.
think. This
No, I'm
last
just
year they
joking.
had
I'm
it in
not sure.
September, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. I think if I'm not mistaken, that was that in Round Rock, Texas?
Yeah, it's in Round Rock.
Yeah, it was the pool room was too smoky, and I'm allergic to smoke, so my eyes were burning, and I went there, and yeah, nice people, great event and stuff like that. But it's yeah, if there's any smoke or anything, I will first thing I ask, hey, is this, you guys got smoke or whatever, because it's brutal. Yeah, it gets in my lung. I got asthma, and then I'm like, ugh. Yeah, it's tough action. I might as well just walk around with a cat necklace.
That's great. All right, we got another question from Mr. Edit. Mr. Edit 1, he says, what's the funniest excuse for missing a shot you've ever heard?
Earthquake. Yeah.
Really?
That was one guy. I remember they said this was back like I don't know in the 80s. Keith McCready or something. The guy missed it. Did you feel that? He missed the ball. He's like, the earth moved. The guy said the earth moved. I said right when I shot.
Oh my God.
I never forget that one. The earth moved. I love it.
Dude, that's fantastic. That's
funny.
hilarious. When I read that question, I was like, I wonder what he's going to say to that one. I never would have thought earthquake. That's pretty creative. That's funny.
So I got a question from Gwen. She says, besides pool, what is Rodney's favorite sport, watch or play?
Ooh, I love golf. I'm a golf fanatic. I'm a nut. So, and when Tiger's playing, I'm always watching. I don't care, whatever. Who's the number one guy? I'm just watching Tiger Woods. I don't care. But yeah, so yeah, I love golf. I played a lot of basketball when I was right around this time I started playing pool. Was the first time I started playing basketball, believe it or not, right around 16, almost 17. And then I ended up loving basketball. I could shoot real good. So I played basketball a lot. And then yeah, after I got my finger I jammed it and it snapped my finger in 2005, just at a pickup game. And then I was like, I got to stop, with these things that can damage my hands. So I play a lot of online chess now. I play online chess. I'm almost a chess master.
Wow. So Little Chris says that it's during Labor Day weekend, and he also says that it's smoke-free now over at the Texas.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah, they used to charge for the smoke. Now they're giving it for free. That's all right. Okay, cool. That's good, Dan. But that's another thing too. I don't know if we're gonna get into that, but I don't know if people know if you guys see Johnny Archer's post, but he just sent the letter of intent from the landlords of the buildings, and we have our first letter of intent for Johnny Archer's place, and I'm going to be partners with Johnny Archer in Georgia. So we're going to open up a bunch of pool room sports bars and stuff.
Awesome.
So that's happening. The grand opening is in May 1st. So if you guys can find Johnny Archer's Facebook and see one of his posts, we're doing a VIP party May 1st, and there was 200. We're going to allow 200 or sell 200 tickets or 50 each. And I think he said 150 of them are gone already. So
Damn.
he's, yeah, all the money we're going for breast cancer because Johnny's mom passed away when he was 6 of breast cancer. So it's kind of something dear to him. So we're just giving that money. He already gave 2,500 to it, and I'm going to probably give 2,500, and just to help get some money for breast cancer. So we contacted them and all that. But so it'll be a real fun event. And one of the features that the Johnny Archer's places are going to have is a scorpion pit. So it's gonna be a closed off room we're gonna have it's gonna be glass. So when we want people to see, the glass will be open and the blinds will be up so people can see inside, but when we don't, we just cover it up with the blinds up so we can have privacy and do private lessons and stuff like that. So that'll be a neat feature, with the scorpion pit. But yeah, and then somebody reached out. Johnny said that he has 18,000 square foot place in Mississippi somewhere, and he said he's gonna do a build out for about 1.5 million and do a Johnny Archer's place there too. So he just reached out. He was like, yeah. So we got like 7 people that want franchises already and stuff. So Johnny was like, you got to come, man. I trust you. You're my best friend. I trust you. You need to come out here. He said. So he made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and so I'm going out there. I'll be Georgia. And my wife's from Georgia.
That's awesome.
It'll be fun.
Awesome.
So yeah, anytime after May 1st, it's going to be real tough for me to bounce around because when you own businesses like that, if anybody knows, you're basically married to that thing.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we got a lot of exciting things happening.
We got a couple more questions in here. We got time for a couple more.
Sure.
So we got Darren Stewart asks, can we expect to see this patented equipment and game stuff in 2021 or in the future after that?
So we have bought, yeah. So the original first 100 sets of balls we did with with our numbers, with the Saratoga sets. They're all over the country. A lot of people have them, so you can see those. And now this next 250 sets, we're making the 7 balls silver because the games that we have, we don't even use the 7s. So that like the Saratoga is played with 13 balls. So you take out the 7 and the 15 if you don't, yeah. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, you can go on ontherailtv.com and you can see Wyoming Opens and you can see all us using those sets of balls all the time. That's what we play with over here. But yeah, it's and yeah, as soon as we get them, the dealers will have them. Cyberts, I think, is the actual connection for the manufacturers from Cyberts.
Okay.
And so you'll be able to buy them from there and all that. But yeah, so I think we're gonna call them. Yeah, it's just rocket balls. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be called. So he was like, you got a name for these? I'm like, well, it's it's the rocket run out games. So might as well just call them rocket balls. Yeah.
It's awesome to know that you're gonna have some balls named after you. That's
yeah, and they're always gonna be clean.
That's the most important thing. So
that is important.
Little Chris wants to know what is the most common thing you think slows a player's progression?
Ooh, when they don't focus on the cue ball, like a lot of Hawaiian Brian, God rest his soul, he didn't really teach me much until later. I was already making shots and running out and all this kind of stuff. But he told me if you're gonna get to the top level and you're gonna master this game, you got to master that cue ball. The cue ball is the whole thing. So even now, like right now, I just got I got like my second time doing the LASIK surgery, but I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the first time they cut the flap and then they pull it up and then they laser and then they put it back on and then it heals itself. Well, when you do the LASIK again, the second time, they can't cut another flap in the whatever. They can't cut another flap. So they just laser, it's called PRK, I think. And it's, they laser right over the eye. Well, that healing time is longer, and it's more painful after. So that's what I'm going through right now, a couple of weeks. And so I got double vision, my right eye. And so it's called ghost vision or double vision. So, but I was playing the other day. I went up to, where did I go? Casper. And I played with a kid, really good player. And I played at his table, was playing really tough though. Like he needed to change the cloth and all that. And I ended up, beating him, playing some 10 ball sets. and with my my thing like my double vision, in my right eye. And the biggest reason is because my cue ball is so good. Like I'm 2 feet away every shot. With a perfect angle. It's like I can shoot it. With my eyes closed, pretty much, right? So, but that's a perfect example of like I can't see, but I can still play because my cue ball is so good, right? So the better you're gonna get, the your cue ball is going to get better. And what I mean by that is if you're always shooting the ball with the right angle and you're always shooting it with the same speed, watch Buddy Hall. If you're always doing that every time, you're going to be so consistent because you're not powering balls, you're not getting straight in, and you're not getting where you have to put a ton of English to move the ball around. If you're always, cue ball is perfect angle and perfect distance all the time, you're gonna play great. You're not gonna make mistakes. There's one of the I remember one time my buddy's wife was watching I went to his house. I forget where it was, a good player. And after his wife, like he was, you know, building me up, like, oh, this guy's a great player coming over, gonna play me, and we're gonna play cheap, whatever. So we played, and after she watched me for about an hour, she was like, I don't think he's that good. It's just all the shots he shoots are so easy. So the shots are all so easy and close. So I was like, yeah. Yeah,
So
it's
you're
so
saying
funny.
there's, even though that you had LASIK, there's still not a chance that any of us can beat you. That's good news.
No, no chance, no chance. You
No
gotta get
chance.
unless you buy my DVD. You get the Rocket Science DVD,
But-
then you got a chance.
But you already said
Yeah.
not to use it against you, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. As
I'm
long as
buying
you
it.
sign
I'm buying it under my wife's name, so you don't know I have it.
nice. Soon as you shoot the 2-rail kick and you get perfect, you kick safe on me, I'll be like, oh, I know where you got this from. I know
Oh,
where
it's
you.
over. Yeah, it's over. That's great. Let's see if we got another question from the Beard King. He says, when Rodney was in his early days, has he ever been hustled hard? And what advice would you give to your younger self when learning the game of pool?
Oh, I remember 1990, a guy came, and I was already playing good. We moved to the new side of Hawaiian Brian's, and the guy came from Canada, and I had never played 8-ball. Believe it or not, we just played 9-ball in Hawaii. That's all we played. And so the guy said, I'll play you, we'll play like, for 50 a game, and but we'll play 8-ball. And I never played 8-ball. I remember it like it was yesterday. And first thing he did, he would soft break, like a safety break. And now that I think about it, he was probably second ball breaking. And then, so all the balls were all tied up. And the first shot, I'm just firing balls in, trying to run out from everywhere. And every time I would run out and leave one ball, and then he'd run out the rest. And so I remember after it was like, he said, you got a lot to learn, kid. He said after that. And then later on, of course, later on, I learned 8-ball, and it became one of my best games. But yeah, I remember that time he hustled me in that game. And I guess the advice would be, just if you got a couple hundred to lose, or if you got $20 to lose, just count that as, that you're going to fire it and lose, and don't get into where you're betting more than, you can afford. Right. And so, and for me, in Hawaii growing up, I told you we always gambled. So if you came into the pool room, and we're both, from Hawaii, if you came into the pool room with 1,500 and I came into the pool room with 25,000, I'm going to leave with 25,000, 1,500, or you're going to leave with 25,000, 1,500.
Right.
Like, that's just how it was. You just came in with whatever you're going to lose, or, that day or whatever. Yeah, it's funny. Like, you're just all in. You're not going to make a game where you're going to walk away from. So we gambled like
That's
crazy.
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
So those of you
Yeah.
that are out there in the chat, do you understand? We're gonna try to answer all your questions that come across, but if we do miss them, please don't think that we're doing it on purpose. So just keep that in mind. There's a question from Darren Settles. What do you think, or what do you like to shoot with as your common stick? Do you think a Balabushka is it good for intermediate players, or is it wasted money?
No, the better you get, obviously the more expensive your cues. But I was fortunate enough to come around the same time as Barry Zambodi. So my mentor Tony Catucci was best friends with Gus Zambodi, and so that year that he died was the first year I left Hawaii to go play pool, and I just so happened Gus just passed away, and I remember it like it was yesterday, sitting there talking with Barry. Just met Barry Zambodi, met Mrs. Zambodi's mom, and he was debating if he was gonna make cue sticks. He had never made a cue stick, and he had all his dad's equipment. And then I remember that exact time, he wasn't decided yet. And then about 2 months later, Tony called me up and he said, well, Barry decided he's going to take over. He's going to start making cues. And he said, so I put in an order for you. So I got one of the very first Barrys, and he put Rocket in, at the bottom of it and all that. But so I was fortunate enough to have, like great cues, from that time. But when I first started, I started with a Dufferin, $60 Dufferin, then I went to a $2 Hubler, then I got a Mucci, then Southwest, I got all these Sean's or whatever. So, and I can tell you firsthand, doesn't matter how much the cue costs, you can find something that hits perfect for you for no money, or you can find, something that hits horrible for 25,000 that you're not going to like. So, but you can also, change the shafts and stuff like that, and manipulate the equipment to make it hit how you want. But it doesn't matter the price or the cue, the brand name. You can find something that you like for, any cue.
Right on. And that's exactly what the practice room, our friend Darren from Canada says. Darren settles, play with whatever makes you feel comfortable. The price of a cue won't make any extra balls, but your comfort level with it will. So thanks a lot for that comment. Anybody else got any more questions?
We got another question from Little Chris. He says, what do you think pool needs to revive its popularity?
So, I think, I want to say, as popular as we were, we still weren't mainstream. We weren't, it wasn't like we had $1 million tournaments every week, right? So I think what we're doing here, creating a new culture and new games, is going to take it to that level that somebody should have done, 30 years ago, right? So we're I think, and that's the whole key, right? We're one of the cool things that we're going to be able to do. Imagine one day Johnny Archer's ready to break the balls, or whoever it was, a young kid, Filler or whatever, they're getting ready to break the balls, and you can bet live from your phone, what miles per hour he's going to break at. That's strong. How strong is that, dude? That's the kind of stuff we're working on right now. And you also know that, okay, he is, whatever the scoring is, right? He is 80% chance to score 20 points in this rack, break and run for 20 or whatever, right? Now he's 80. Now you bet you got to lay 12 to, 20% on the bet, but he's 80% chance, and then boom, he scratches out, whatever, right? It's like that's gonna be like that. So imagine we're able to bet on every little nuance that's going on in pool matches. So that's a whole different level. Can you imagine? The only reason why I watch a lot of football is because I'm betting a little bit on it.
Yeah, hell yeah,
dude,
that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, like right now in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be driving to Vegas, and we're going for the Super Bowl, and I'm going to have my sheet with all these prop bets, and I'm going to go off like a rocket.
All right. Let me just real quick. Let me break in there real quick so we can mention these. We already know that you did say that you were the CEO of TSPN. Is that correct? You're the
yes.
Okay. Tell us about the Striker break tips which you are a part of as well.
Yeah, they're great break tips. Yeah, but they're the material that they're made of. We're having a hard time for the glue right now to stay on them. So I'm obviously, if it pops off, we just put it back on. But like mine popped off the other day, and that's what I was saying. I got my friends, but I was breaking it so good. It explodes the balls and grabs like a leather tip. But we got to find the right glue that's and I think I found it though. My friend said there's a Loctite one, but there's two different brands of the Loctite glue. So the other one is the one I need to use. But yeah, it's great break tip. Yeah, when you get it's cheap, $10. Nice. Yeah, you'll love it.
Nice.
Yep.
Now is that the same thing as the high impact tips, or is that something different?
That's the website.
Okay.
But the Striker is the name of the break tip. Yeah.
Right on.
And then the break rack. Are you guys familiar with the break rack?
Yeah, that's what I was about to go through as well. Tell us a little bit about the break rack. It is, to my understanding, it is a device that measures the speed. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, we have the radar that unit that connects to it too, but that's the other version. But You can get it without the radar version, but I recommend it because you know exactly what speed you're hitting it at all the time. But you set it all up, and so instead of you having to re-rack the balls, it simulates a rack on the table. So you
Oh
can simulate a
wow.
9-ball rack, an 8-ball rack, whatever you want, and then you can just sit there and hammer them because it's all set up on the table. So you put the plastic underneath so that you don't create burn marks, you know, on your thing, and you just put
Wow.
like plastic tape down. Oh, dude, that's what Shane used to when he came on the scene, dude. That's why you think his break got so good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's there's a lot of guys that use it secretly.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One other thing that you also are involved with is the Andy Billiards cloth. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my buddy EJ and he's out here in Saratoga. You know, he ended up buying the Andy Cloth USA, and so we do. You know, it's cheaper than the other stuff, and it's you know, and I like it better. You know, it grabs from the beginning. You know, so normally, you know, when you put on brand new cloth, it slides for a while. You know,
Hmm.
sliding, slippery, sliding all over the place. Well, the Andy Cloth it grabs right from the beginning. So as soon as you put it on, it plays like that from the beginning to the end. So it's yeah. So you
Nice.
That's
can
awesome.
contact, or you can just kind of search online and contact Mark Osborne, and he'll get you hooked up. But yeah, it's yeah, we all out here in this area, everybody, it's all Andy Cloth.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody who is interested in any of those things that Rodney is involved with and sticks by, all those links are in the description of this stream. So if you want to check that out, please go there, support, and check those items out. Do we have any more questions that we want to ask Rodney?
So we got one more question from Darren Stewart. He'd like to hear what sort of politics play into making the Moscone team.
Ooh.
Oh, we might have to pick that one up on the next show. But yeah, real quick,
Wow.
I'll just let you know, you know, I'm not one of them, you know, kiss butt type guys. And you know, most of these organizations or associations, that's what they want. So I'm not their cup of tea, as I say, tell it like it is. But yeah, it's just put it this way. I would be playing on tour right now, every event, if I could get on again. So just we'll leave it at that. If I had a chance to get on again, I would be playing on. So that's a lot of reason why me and Johnny are not playing, because we don't play in the tournaments because we got nothing to play for now.
Right
Like,
on.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
so imagine if you play. It's like, okay, you can play this tournament, but you're not going to get paid. Yeah, makes no sense, right? So,
Yeah, it
so
doesn't.
we played all year to get on the Mosconi Cup, and when they say, "Eh, we probably don't want you on," it's like, okay, why are we gonna play then, right? So,
That's true. That's true.
yeah. So when they don't see us at events, it's not because we don't want to be there; it's because they don't want us to be there.
That's true.
That's awesome.
Well,
Politics.
Rodney, one more question. If it was anybody else, I wouldn't ask it, but I know you well enough, I think. So, little Chris wants to know, will the Rock and Balls be sponsored by Manscaped?
Oh my God.
Manscaped, what's that? What is
You
that?
don't know what Manscaped is?
No. Oh, I don't, oh yeah, I get it now. I love it. I love it. Automatic. Automatic. Yeah. Each one comes with a little goatee.
There you go.
So Darren Settles wants to know what kind of brand of table do you own? And actually, that's a question that I would like to know. Is that, like, obviously you would have a table at your place, but do you have multiple tables, like different sizes to practice on, or do you stick with one size and that kind of gears you up for all the other tables? And I'm talking about size wise.
9 footer, yeah, Gold Crown 6 we have, and all the Johnny Archer's places, and when we move over to Hawaii later on in about 5-7 years to the opening up some Rockets places, there it's all going to be all Brunswick, all Gold Crown stuff. Yeah, so yeah, they got the new bar tables out too. So
Nice.
yeah, you guys haven't
I
seen the new
like
Brunswick
Brunswick.
bar tables, have you?
No.
Oh, dude, they're
You could
so
always
bad.
send one over to Seattle, so that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
well, they have one. I think the first one is in Vegas right now at Q Club. You can see it. It's awesome. It's a tank. It's awesome. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, Rodney, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Um, After the stream, please stay on because there's a couple things I'd like to ask you. But first and foremost, thank you so much for spending your time with us and letting us into your life, basically, and letting us know how you know, what it's like to be a pro. I am very appreciative of everything that you've done for the community of pool, for the sport, and I'm really looking forward to some of the innovations that you're going to bring to the sport. And I know myself, Daniel, and Jeff, we're really looking forward to those new games that are going to be incorporated in pool. So, Jeff, do you got anything?
Just thanks for coming on. I don't remember if you remember playing in a tournament here in Tacoma a few years back when I played in the same tournament. And if I would have won my last match, I already got to play you, so that sucks.
We just missed each other. Well, we gotta
barely.
play next time when I come out there.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
Jeff?
Yep. Awesome. Thanks so much, Roddy, man. Always a pleasure, brother.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll see you guys again. Thanks again. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. I'd like to say thank you for everybody who joined us in the chat. Thank you very much for being on our channel. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It's the only way that I'm going to grow. Leave a comment. I know that you guys have been leaving comments and whatnot. Hope to see you guys on the table. You guys have a good night. Stay safe.